Hey, Fearless Millionaires, it's Nathan here. Um, started a little late today. Um, a few things. One, it's really cold, so I got to keep my sweatshirt on. If you know, we read last week. I was in Massachusetts. This week, I'm reading from North Carolina. I'm going to be traveling over the next few weeks, so we'll be doing some videos in a few different places. Hopefully, we can ease up on the clothing wear and get a little more sunny and warm. But I will tell you this: had a little technical difficulties getting started, so I hope the audio is going to be amazing and great before we kick it off here. Give you a little update on that. I left. First of all, I left. Okay, so the new iPhone 7 recently upgraded to that. One of the things it doesn't have, just for those who are techies, is it doesn't have the same port anymore. So what they've done is they've given you this handy dandy tool to use instead of the regular 3.5 audio connection. So I think it's cool. It's like next level. It's revolutionary. It's the next phase. Bluetooth, wireless headphones, all that stuff. Actually, I don't even know why I have these on. So it is like that next level of life and where we're going, which is really cool to have. And it's cool to see one company taking the lead in that. They got a lot of flack for it, for stepping out and it's not good for everyone and all that. That's why they added this little piece to it. So it is what it is. But it's at some point we're going to need to make the switch anyway to go all Bluetooth. Bluetooth headphones, Bluetooth everything, or Wi-Fi everything, that kind of stuff. All right, so you had to work on that technical side of things. But I wanted to kick it off today, let you know that as we read chapter 4 and 5 this week, I'm going to open it up. I do want to let you know that we do, if you have any questions, again, you can put your questions inside of the chat area, or either during our time together in the session, read with Nathan, or even after, and we'll get those questions answered. If there's any aha moments you have, like, wow, that was great, or let's elaborate on that, let's dive a little more into it, then we can do that also. I did want to make a correction. This is chapter 5 and chapter 6. Chapter 5 and chapter 6 of The Greatest Secret in the World, which we've been reading now. This is our third week. We're reading 2 chapters a week. And this is our third week reading this book. All right. So let's dive in. By the way, Happy New Year. I know it's a new year. I don't want to get into much goal setting here. This session is for reading, but make sure you set your goals. Make sure you get them written down, put them in a place you can see them, and have an accountability partner, someone that can hold you accountable. I also consider it like having a not just accountability, but how about a challenge buddy, someone that can challenge you on your goals and what you've written down. I call it friendly competition, someone who you can have friendly competition with to help push you forward and say, hey, if you reach your goal first, then you have to buy me dinner, or whatever, vice versa, that type of thing. So have some friendly competition going on to help you achieve your goals even faster, okay? All right, so let's dive into chapter 5 and chapter 6 of The Greatest Secret in the World, and let's kick it off. Here we go, chapter 5. And he begins by saying, still with us? Look around you. The group has thinned out considerably. Those that have already dropped out all came up with at least one excuse not to continue with their success recorder. And it is not coincidental that this is the same group whose past performance shows the same dropout habit in their previous attempts to make something of themselves. So basically, as we talked about in the previous chapters, is that the success recorder, or tracking your goals, not everyone is going to be consistent with it. Not everyone is going to be persistent and consistent with their goals and dreams. And especially now we're in the new year, right? We have these New Year's resolutions, and everyone's, talking about what their goals are going to be. And sometimes the majority of those goals and resolutions drop off pretty much towards the the end of January. So he's saying here that the dropout is pretty typical. It's normal that people will drop off of their goals and dreams. That's what he's saying here about the success recorder, where he says the same group whose past performance shows the same dropout habit in their previous attempts to make something of themselves. These are the individuals with the phony type of burning desire, which I mentioned earlier. All talk, no action. Of course, when you stop feeling sorry for them, the realization suddenly hits you that what they have done is make it easier for you. The competition becomes less. William Danforth is his great self in his self excuse me in his great self-help classic, I Dare You, wrote that 95% of all individuals lack the determination to call on their unused capacities. This tremendous majority quickly settle on the plateau of mediocrity. I did want to let you know that that's a great book, by the way. It's a quick and short read. That book called I Dare You. So be sure to check that out. It's actually a great read. And he's saying that 95% will lack the determination. So how is this good for you? If you remain determined and persistent, you will win. Your competition goes down a lot, especially if they're in the same industry. So again, never give up and keep pursuing. This tremendous majority quickly settle on the plateau of mediocrity and bewail their misfortune and bad breaks for the rest of their lives, while the daring, the courageous, the fearless 5% continue on the leadership levels. I did add a few extra words there, but he's basically saying the daring, the 5%, the others, the fearless millionaires, that's you. Those individuals, that's us, that's you, that's us. Those individuals are the ones that go to that next level. They continue on to leadership levels. He speaks to that small and surviving band of gusty individuals, including you, when he says, the day of defending your present possessions is gone. From now on, you are not going to worry about holding your job. Put the worry on the fellow above you about holding misform this day. Onward, wrong things are put on the defense. You have marshaled right things for the attacked. Your eyes are toward your strength, not your weaknesses. Henceforth, you will make in the morning, thinking of ways to do things rather than reasons why they can't be done. Very powerful statement. That's actually taken from the book I Dare You, where he says, the author, William Danforth, says those things and says, you wake up in the morning different than everyone else, the 95%. You start thinking of how can I get this done rather than it can't be done. And henceforth, for the next 5 weeks, you will awake in each morning to read and absorb the principles in the scroll marked number 3. Are you ready? Scroll marked number 3. Here we go. I will persist until I succeed. In the Orient, young bulls are tested for the fight arena in a certain manner. Each is brought to the ring and allowed to attack a picador who pricks them with a lance. Okay, the bravery of each bull is then rated with care, and according to the number of times he demonstrates his willingness to charge in spite of the sting of the blade. Henceforth, will I recognize that each day I'm tested by life in a like manner. If I persist, if I continue, I charge forward, I will succeed. I will persist until I succeed. It's a very common thing, actually, in Spanish and also Portuguese cultures. Portugal, we do a little different, where we don't always stab the bull with the blade, but they actually you have the bull chase you in the streets, and you have to see if you can make it with the bull like butting you in the ass and all that stuff, or getting you in the side. So that is a cultural traditional thing. In this, what he's talking about here is there are blades in some in some cultures where they go after the bull, or they charge the bull and they throw blades into the bull, and the bull, it can actually have these blades sticking in them, but how long is that bull going to last? I mean, how long will that bull persist to chase after its goals and dream. Well, not in the bowl, but you know what I mean. So the bowl will last. And the thing is, the same is he's pertaining here to you. You're going to get hurt or stabbed mentally, emotionally, by people around you. You're going to have all these things coming at you, and sometimes it's going to feel like it's such a pain. And what are you going to do with it? How are you going to break through from it? The goal here is to persist and proceed. As he says, I will persist until I succeed. Okay, so let's continue. I was not delivered unto this world in defeat, nor does failure's course in my veins. I am not a sheep waiting to be prodded by my shepherd. I am the lion. I am a lion, and I refuse to talk, walk, to sleep with the sheep. I will hear not those who weep and complain, for their disease is contagious. Let them go, let them join the sheep. The slaughterhouse of failure is not my destiny. Let's talk about that for a second. He says, I will hear not those who weep and complain, for their disease is contagious. Now, I'm sure you've probably experienced this before, where you've been around people where they, they're just negative, the negative mindset, the people who everything is something always bad is happening. And I'll tell you what, I've been guilty of this even myself, where sometimes I just want to vent, right? I just want to get out that anger or frustration, or, just want to vent and just say, oh, this is what's happening. This is how life is. And, I've done that over the course of life, and maybe you have too. And, the reality is sometimes we just need to, yes, we need to vent, but we also don't want to do that. We don't always want to be complaining, because when you complain a lot, it's actually a disease and it spreads to other people. So you can actually, if you've ever thought, or if you know that you complain, or if you ever feel like you're complaining, what you want to do is you want to pull that back. Even if you're talking to someone, you probably want to apologize and say, hey, I'm sorry for complaining, right? I know there's times where I've done this and I've said, listen, I'm going to complain right now. I've done that. I've even told people, like, listen, I'm going to complain right now. Not that it's a good thing, but of course we're only human. And if we remain in a state of negativity, we're always going to find ways of complaining, right? So sometimes it's not easy. It's actually a mental battle that we have to pull ourselves out and say, okay, you know what? I'm just going to allow myself to do this for a period of time, and then I got to pull back, right? And then after a while, it's just like you just completely stop. Like, I am not going to complain anymore. I'm not. Some people can go cold turkey, right? Just like people can quit smoking, you can quit eating bad foods or whatnot. Some people can do that just like that. Not everybody can do that. And same thing with complaining or negative mindset. Some people can switch it quickly. Other people, it takes time. I'm more the type of person where I can do things pretty quick. I take action quickly. I can stop things quickly. I remember when I decided to quit smoking, I was like, I'm quitting smoking, and it was done. I had no want or desire for it the next day. It was like, I'm done, decision. But that also played true to when I made the decision to walk across fire. It was like, okay, I'm doing this, let's go. It wasn't, should I do it? Should I not do it? Of course, you're going to feel the feelings of fear, but the reality is you have to do it anyway. Just like the temptation of wanting to go for another drink or another smoke, whatever it may be for you. I mean, there's so many addictive things out there, but whatever it is for you, you have to have that discipline to say, no, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to complain. No, I'm not going to gossip. No, I'm not going to take another drink. I'm not going to smoke. Whatever it is for you, you figure that out. But the thing is persistence in changing what you want to do and become is not easy, but it takes time. So some people can do it like that. Other people, it takes a process. So don't put someone down or anything like that if not everybody can just change on a dime. Some people can, some people can't. Strengths and weaknesses differ from person to person. All right, so let's continue. I will persist until I succeed. The prizes of life are at the end of each journey, not near the beginning. And it is not given to me to know how many steps are necessary in order to reach my goal. Hey, listen, I just got to pause there. This is just so powerful. I got to highlight it. And of course, you probably know this or heard this before, that success is not in the destination. It's not when you get there. It's in the journey to the process, right? It's the journey. This is the same thing. Success is not like the end result. It's actually when you're getting there. And that's what he says here. The prizes of life are at the end of the journey. At the end of each journey, everything we're going for is a journey, right, to get there. It's not in the beginning. Usually the beginning's the hardest part, getting up to go start something, getting up to go do something, getting up to go to the gym, starting a new diet plan, starting wanting to quit smoking, whatever it may be. The hardest parts are always in the beginning, right? But as you continue to move forward, as you continue to take those steps, guess what? After a while, you'll move forward and then you will enjoy the journey at the end. Your prize is at the end. Okay, let's continue. Failure, I may have to still encounter at the 1,000th step, yet success hides behind the next bend in the road. Never will I know how close it ties unless I turn the corner. And this is so true. This is why it's so important to never, ever give up, because you never know. Success is just around the corner. Always, I will take another step. And if that is of no avail, I will take another and yet another. In truth, one step at a time is not too difficult. I will persist until I succeed. Henceforth, I will consider each day's effort as but one blow of my blade against the mighty oak. The first blow may cause not a tremor in the wood, nor the second, nor the third. Each blow of itself may be trifling and seem like it's of no consequence. Yet from childish swipes, the oak will eventually tumble. So it will be from my efforts of today. I will be likened to the raindrop which washes away the mountain, the ant who devours a tiger, the star which brightens the earth, the slave who builds the pyramids. I will build my castle one brick at a time, for I know that small attempts repeated will complete any undertaking. I will persist until I succeed. I will never consider defeat, and I will remove from my vocabulary such words and phrases as quit, cannot, unable, impossible, out of the question, improbable, failure, unworkable, hopeless, and retreat. I want to stop right there for a second. He's saying some words that we need to take out of our vocabulary. Now, I know this book was written some time ago, but that doesn't mean all we have to do is remove some of the more modern words. Like, he doesn't say here the words I can't, right? He uses the words cannot, right? Or can't. Today we use a lot of the word of can't, I can't do it, right? Here's using the word cannot. He says unable, impossible, out of the question, improvable, unworkable, hopeless. Take all these negative words of that are not going to get you closer, the words that are not going to bring success on that journey. So you have to remove these phrases and words out of your vocabulary, for they are the words of fools. They are the words of fools. He continues to say, I will avoid despair, but if this desire of my mind should infect me, then I will work on that in despair. I will toil and I will endure. I will ignore the obstacles at my feet and keep mine eyes on the goals above my head. For I know that where dry desert ends, green grass grows. Ooh, that was powerful, right? I'm going to read that part again. For I know that where dry desert ends, green grass grows. We're going to all, in life, we're all going to go through things where we have issues, problems, hurdles, and challenges. And it's going to feel like a desert. It's going to feel like never ending. We're going to get very thirsty. It's going to get hot. We're going to get sweaty. It's going to feel like it never ends. As far as you look out, you're like, when is this situation going to change? And it doesn't. It seems like it doesn't. But at the end of that desert, if you keep going, if you don't give up, because you know what happens when you give up in the desert? You die. You die. You die from heat and you just remain there. But if you never give up and you keep walking, there's grass. There's green grass that grows. I will persist until I succeed. I will remember the ancient law of averages, and I will bend it to my good. I will persist with knowledge that each failure to sell will increase my chance for success at the next attempt. Each nay I hear will bring me closer to the sound of yea, or yes. Each frown I meet only prepares me for the smile to come. Each misfortune I encounter will carry into the seed of tomorrow's good luck. I must have the night to appreciate the day. I must fail often to succeed only once. I will persist until I succeed. I will try and try and try again. Each obstacle I will consider as a mere detour to my goal and challenge to my profession. Listen to that. Listen to how powerful that is. I will try and try again. Each obstacle I consider as a mere detour to my goal and a challenge to my profession. Powerful statement worth writing down or highlighting, and basically saying that the journey of success is not a straight road. It is a detour. It's windy. And that's what he's reiterating here, that every time it is an obstacle, it's just a challenge to what you do in your profession. He continues to say, I will persist and develop my skills as a mariner develops his by learning to ride out the wrath of each storm. I will persist until I succeed. Henceforth, I will learn and apply another secret of those who excel in my work. When each day is ended, not regarding whether it has been a success or failure, I will attempt to achieve one more sale. When my thoughts beacon my tired body homeward, I will resist the temptation to depart, and I will try again. I will make one more attempt to close with victory. And if that fails, I will make another attempt. Never will I allow any day to end with a failure. Thus will I plant the seed of tomorrow's success and gain an insurmountable advantage over those who cease their labor at a prescribed time. When others cease their struggle, then mine will begin, and my harvest will be full. I will persist until I succeed. Nor will I allow yesterday's success to lull me in today's complacency. For this is the great foundation of failure. I will forget the happenings of the day that is gone, whether they were good, whether they were bad, and greet the new day with sun and with confidence that this will be the best day of my life. So long as there's breath in me, that long will I persist. For now I know one of the greatest principles of success. If I persist long enough, I will win. I will persist. I will win. This is so powerful. I love the ending here because this is so true. And it's one of my keystone statements where I say, never, ever, ever give up. Never give up on your goals and dreams. Never give up what it is. There's some powerful statements here where he says that he won't let today's results, whether it was a success or a failure, you don't let the day dictate tomorrow. Tomorrow is a new day. Whether you had a failure that day, let's say you failed today, you don't let that failure dictate tomorrow, right? You have a new day tomorrow. But let's say you had a success today. Let's say you just made a bunch of money. Let's say you got a new partnership. Let's just say something amazing happened, right? You don't sit tomorrow saying, oh, yesterday was such a great day. And this is what he calls the foundation of complacency, just letting it, yeah, I'm successful, I did this. Anytime you're steady or complacent and there's no growth, if there's no growth and you're complacent and you're steady, you're only going down. And the reason why that is because in all human nature, we are created as humans for growth, okay? If we are not growing, we're dying. Okay, just like a plant, just like nature, if we're not growing, if we're not reproducing, if we're not shedding off the leaves, the old leaves, and growing new leaves, then we are dying and dead. So think about that in your own life. How are you growing? How are you taking steps to expand your mind, grow your mind? That's the one thing no one can take away from you is your mind, your knowledge. If you grow your mind and grow your knowledge, you can go places. And I don't mean just location places. I'm talking about levels in your job, levels in business. Your relationships can expand. But if you remain in the same place, the same mindset over and over and over again, then it won't take you anywhere. And keep in mind that type of knowledge, and that's just not any knowledge. This is the knowledge that you should be using and growing yourself should be growth material. It shouldn't be, there's laws of the universe, and some of them is never do wrong or harm humankind. Actually, there may be some, we might read a book on that actually together, where we talk about the laws of the universe for success. There's things that you should not do in order to grow your life, in order to live in a more abundant life. And one of them is not to harm your fellow man. So we can talk about that in the future when it comes down to the laws of the universe. There are some powerful things in the laws of the universe that apply. So we'll do that in the future. But let's jump into chapter 6. And again, the greatest secret in the world of chapter 6. Let's jump into that and continue to move forward. Okay, so we continue. So isn't this simple? If you've come this far, you already have the habit of reading your scroll 3 times a day. Nothing to it. Just as there would be nothing to your doing 100 push-ups, by now you will have started that 10 weeks ago. What a difference 10 weeks makes. And completing each day's success recorder, that's simple too. Isn't it? So simple that you can't even get out of doing it with the excuse that you're too busy or too tired. So what the author is saying here is that now 10 weeks have gone by. And I know for us, because we've been reading every week, 2 chapters every week, so it hasn't been 10 weeks, it's been 3. But if you're doing this consistently and persistently, right, then 10 weeks have gone by when you follow the material. But what he's saying here, what's so powerful, is that see how simple it is? After you get started in something, it just becomes natural to you. It's like a good habit, right? It just becomes supernatural to you. And then after a while, it's like, it's a part of you. You don't even think of stopping. You just keep going and going, and it's no big deal. You don't even want to quit after a while. I was just talking to a buddy of mine who said, he's always in shape and he's always working out. And actually, if he doesn't work out, then he actually feels it in his body. He's like, man, I need to go and work out because my body is craving that, it's used to that movement every day. And it's very, very true. Same thing works with our mind. If we don't exercise our mind on a daily basis, then it's going to get very dry, like that desert that we talked about earlier. All right, let's continue. So, but do you realize what you have already done for yourself by simply reading and imprinting on your subconscious mind the words from the scroll marked number 2 and the scroll marked number 3 times each day for 5 weeks each? Have you seen any results? If you haven't tried this yet, you should really go back to the videos and watch, week 1, chapter 1 and 2, week 2, chapter 2 and 3, chapter 4 and 5, right? Go back and read some of those chapters, listen to those chapters, because it will really help you with the success recorder and saying those scrolls, right? You are no doubt already communicating better with those around you. You have relieved friction from some quarters, and you have hardened that spine so that you continue to try when in the past you have just headed home after a few failures with your tail in between your legs. Now, your personality is more open. You are a warmer person. You make friends easier, and yet you know how to hang in there until you make sales or complete tasks, which you would never have come close to completing before you started this program. So what he's saying here is that if you follow these scrolls and you've been saying them out loud on a regular basis, that you become a changed person. These have had an impact on your life. And this has changed not only your mindset, but the actions and behaviors that you take. Furthermore, your sales or your duties are becoming easier because you are a friendlier and more likable person. So you really have to call upon that new persistence that you've developed. The scrolls you are discovering, as with all virtues, are not separate, but related. When you improve on one, they all improve. When one bad habit is subdued, the next is overcome with less struggle. I told you that you were a miracle of nature, and now I'll prove it to you in scroll marked number 4. So get ready here, scroll marked number 4, and of the scrolls. And we continue. I am nature's greatest miracle. Since the beginning of time, never has there been another with my mind, my heart, my eyes, my ears, my hands, my hair, my mouth. None that came before me, none that live today, and none that will come tomorrow can walk, talk, and move and think exactly like me. All men are my brothers, yet I am different from each. I am a unique creature. Although I am of the animal kingdom, animal rewards alone will not satisfy me. Within me burns a flame which has been passed from generations uncounted, and its heat is a consistent irritation to my spirit to become better than I am. And I will fan this flame of dissatisfaction and proclaim my uniqueness to the world. None can duplicate my brushstrokes. None can make my chisel marks. None can duplicate my handwriting. None can produce my child. And in truth, none has the ability to sell exactly as I. Henceforth, I will capitalize on this difference, for it is an asset to be promoted to the fullest. So, what the author is saying here is that every single one of us is unique. Every fearless millionaire is unique. We all have talents and abilities. We all have gifts and opportunities to us only that no one else has, right? So in order to act on that, we have to take action. We have to be the ones to progressively move forward and sell not only ourselves and our minds, but we have to sell and get it out there. No one's going to have your handwriting. No one's going to have the same, as he says, brushstrokes. You are an artist in your own way. You're creating your life. No one can do that but you. We continue. I am nature's greatest miracle. Vain attempts to imitate others no longer will I make. Don't copy other people. Instead will I place my uniqueness on display in the marketplace. I will proclaim it. Yea, I will sell it, and I will begin now to accent my differences, hide my similarities. So too will I apply this principle to the goods I sell. Salesmen and goods different from all others, and proud of the difference. I am a unique creature of nature. I am rare, and there in the value in all rarity. Therefore, I am valuable. I am the end product of 1,000 years of evolution. Therefore, I am better equipped in both mind and body, and all that empowers the wise men who preceded me. Just again, setting up some uniqueness here. There's only one you. That makes you unique. That makes you different. You have talents and gifts and abilities that someone else doesn't have. You have a uniqueness to you that no one else has. No one else is going to have your fingerprints. And so how are you going to leave your fingerprints on this world? And notice what he says here. Proclaim it, right? He says just in the paragraph before, he says, I will proclaim it. That's for you in this scroll. You will proclaim it. How are you going to proclaim your talents, your gifts, and your abilities? How are you going to get it out there? Right? So in order to make that happen, you have to proclaim it. Otherwise, it's not going to happen, right? We continue. He says, I am rare. And and I said that already. Okay, so let me repeat that part. It says, I am rare, and there is value in all rarity. Therefore, I am valuable. I am the end product of 1,000 years of evolution. Therefore, I am better equipped in both mind and body than all the emperors and wise men who preceded me. But my skills, my mind, my heart, and my body will not stagnate. They will not rot, and they will not die, lest I put them to good use. I have unlimited potential. You have unlimited potential. Only a small portion. One second. Much better. Only a small portion of my brain do I employ. Only a paltry amount of my muscles do I flex. 100-fold or more can I increase my accomplishments of yesterday, and this will I do beginning today. Nevermore will I be satisfied with yesterday's accomplishments, nor will I indulge anymore in self-praise for deeds which in reality are too small to even acknowledge. I can accomplish far more than I have, and I will. For why should the miracle which produced me end with my birth? Why can I not extend that miracle to my deeds of today? I am nature's greatest miracle. I am not on this earth by chance. I am here for a purpose, and that purpose is to grow into a mountain, not to shrink into a grain of sand. Henceforth, I will apply all my efforts to become the highest mountain, and I will strain my potential until it cries for mercy. I will increase my knowledge of mankind, myself, and the goods that I sell. Thus my sales will multiply. I will practice and improve and polish the words I utter to sell my goods, for this is the foundation on which I build my career, and never will I forget that many have attained great wealth and success with only one sales talk, delivered with excellence. Also will I seek consistently to improve my manners of grace, for they are sugar to which all are attracted. Let's talk about that for a second, right? So we have the words that he utters to sell my goods, for this is the foundation which he builds the career. This is to you. As you perfect on what your talents and gifts and abilities are, that's how you promote your goods. It's what you have to offer. That's the foundation on how you build your career. You knowing what your strengths are, right? Avoiding your weaknesses and building on your strengths. I am nature's greatest miracle. I will concentrate my energy on the challenge of the moment, and my actions will help me forget all else. The problems of my home will be left in my home. I will think not of my family when I am in the marketplace, for this will cloud my thoughts. So too will the problems of the marketplace be left in the marketplace, and I will think not of my profession when I am home, for this will dampen my love. Think about that for a minute. Basically, what he's saying here is that when you're at work, leave your home problems at home, and when you're at home, leave the work problems at work, right? That's what he's saying there. All right, let's continue. So there is no room in the marketplace for my family, nor is there room in my home for the market. Each I will divorce from the other, and thus will I remain wedded to both. Separate must they remain of my career, or my career will die. This is the paradox of ages. I am nature's greatest miracle. I have been given eyes to see and a mind to think, and now I know a great secret of life, for I perceive at last that all of my problems, discouragements, and heartaches are in truth great opportunities in disguise. I will no longer be fooled by the garments of what they wear, for my eyes are open. I will look beyond the cloth, and I will not be deceived. So what he's saying there, out of all the challenges, all of this discouragements, all of the heartaches, all of the issues and challenges and hurdles that you have, um, that is a disguise to us. Those are disguises for opportunities, great opportunities in disguise. We continue. I am nature's greatest miracle. No beast, no plant, no wind, no rain, no rock, no lake had the same beginning as I. For I was conceived in love and brought forth for a purpose. In the past, I have not considered the fact, but it will henceforth shape and guide my life. I am nature's greatest miracle. And nature knows not defeat. Eventually, she emerges victorious, and so will I. And with each victory, the struggle becomes less difficult. I will win, and I will become a great salesman, for I am unique. I am nature's greatest miracle. Okay, and I think that's the end of the chapter, because I'm looking at the success recorder for the end of the week. It is. All right, let's bookmark that. So that was chapter 5 and chapter 6 of The Greatest Secret in the World. Let me just check if we had any questions. If you had any questions or aha moments or anything that came up and you're like, wow, that was really good, sure, you can leave that in the comments, or you can leave questions in the comment section below. So we have no questions this time. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. No, here's a question. I'm looking at the wrong box. Now, there's a comment saying that it was good. Okay, so the question is about the success recorder. Now, I know in the book, The Greatest Secret in the World, he mentions the success recorder. Now, you can actually, I did try going online and looking for the success recorder. You can actually easily, if you did a Google search for The Greatest Secret in the World success recorder, you could print out your own version. Basically, what a success recorder is, and he mentions this in chapter 2, I think it was, where a success recorder, all it is documentation. You can call it a success recorder, you can call it a success journal, you can, whatever you want to title it. What's important in the recorder or the journal, the diary, is the tracker, okay? Is that one, you track your progress, right? You have something, a tool that you can use. Now, I know in previous videos I've mentioned things like stuff that I use. I don't write down my goals anymore. I don't write down my tasks. everything's digital. And that's a transition I had to make in 2016. So I went from physical to digital in 2016. And so there's a few tools that I use to make that happen. Number one, for goals and goals and dreams and what do I want to achieve for any year. I've been using it for a number of years. I use the mobile app called Wunderlist, and that's Wunderlist. Wunderlist. Love that app. Actually, if you're about to set your 2017 goals, you can download that app. It's free. There's a free version. There's a paid version, but you can basically use it for free, and it's a great app. Great team over there at Wunderlist, and you can use that app to help you set up your goals for 2017. I actually also have a video on the YouTube channel for Fearless Millionaire under Tech. The playlist is Tech Tools. And there's a video in there where I talk about Wunderlist, how to use it, and how you can use it to set your goals. So you can check that out. Now, the other app that I like to use in order to stay on top of tasks, or I do have my businesses. So I have another app that I use for my team. That's called Asana. That's ASANA, asana.com. And it's both a mobile app and a desktop app. And there's also a free version and a paid version. Now, that is for more project management team. That's if you have a team of people. Maybe you're building a business and you have team members working on your business. It's a great app to keep everything in order and managed appropriately. One more app I'll tell you about that I use for tasks and what needs to be done today. There's a lot of free apps out there. This is called Any.do. So it's AnyDo. If you type in AnyDo app, it will come up. And you can use that app. There's a free version and there's a paid version. You can use those apps to help you stay on track of the tasks that you're doing. Remember, when you're setting goals, you can have big goals, right? You can have your big goals for the year, big goals for the month, and then your goals for the week, and then your tasks to get there, okay? So make sure that you set your goals, but also set up tasks to help you get there. Every day you can ask yourself, what can I do today to get myself one step closer to my goal? So that is our time. That is Read with Nathan, hashtag Read with Nathan. If you know someone who would like this video, share it with them. That was chapter 5 and chapter 6. We try to do this every Tuesday, and we get it in where we do a Read with Nathan session. We were a little late today, but normally it's 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we read this book right now is The Greatest Secret in the World by Mandino. It's a great read. Let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing you next time. All right, take care.